We're live.
You know, this is just an example of the wonders of this job because I was telling you that I had to go to the calling hours
Right.
and there was a super long line and I went really early thinking no problem, I'll be home by 6, but it was a really long line. And then I'm like, okay,
Right.
I'm gonna have to pull over and do this from my car and we can. you
Mhm.
so
That's the beauty of
so
what we do.
It's so indicative of what we do. So if the
Mhm.
background looks a little weird on your end, folks, I'm also stalling because you're pushing all those buttons you need to
I
push
am
to make
almost
sure
there.
that we're in the right places.
Well, what I like to do is I like to just make sure. So after I share it,
Absolutely.
I always go to those places just to be certain. So if
Yeah.
people are hopping on, please do me a favor, do us a solid and give us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. Yep, we're good here. Yep, we're good. Okay, good.
Okay.
Perfect.
And my
Okay.
really fun part is we're in the middle of what we call in our business a mega party.
Mhm.
And I've invited so many of them to come to Grace and Grit Studio. So I'm hoping, mega party people, thanks for joining us. We do this every single Monday. And you never know. Sometimes it's for you, sometimes it's for a friend. But be sure to add people because I think it's a great opportunity. And now I'm going to turn it to my cohort. So Janine, what are we doing here?
Well, I'm just going to really quickly welcome Michelle and Rachel. I'm going to welcome Kelly and Leah. We have Aberdeen, South Carolina, or South Dakota here. We don't normally have South Dakota people. That's kind of fun.
Yay!
But
Yay!
welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Monday. I'm sorry you had to go to a viewing. That's always a sad
Uh,
time. So
yeah.
apologize for that. Our condolences. But what we're going to do here tonight is super cool. It really is. So I am going to interview Mary Grace Lewandowski, who is our executive company vice president. And I'm going to ask her 4 questions about our job, basically, and about what we do. And the 4 questions we choose are always ones that most people, it's kind of the first 4 things they think of
Mhm.
when somebody asks them about our opportunity.
Mhm.
So what we're going to ask you to do is a couple of things. Just sit back and relax and listen, because this may be something that you're very interested in, or this may be something that a friend or family member has said to you recently, and you can share this information with them. So without further ado, Mary Grace, I'm going to ask you the first most common question that people ask when they are considering a direct sales opportunity, and that is, why direct sales?
Yeah. Honestly, I think the most important thing is that people understand what direct sales is because I believe that if it had been presented to me as direct sales, I might have had a bunch of people that didn't know anything about direct sales tell me I shouldn't do it. It's just the weirdest thing. I really think that's one of
Yeah.
the, and I'm like, you know what? Somebody, people don't tell you, don't become a doctor. I heard that doctors, blah, 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 but with direct sales, that definitely happens. So, first of all, it's not a pyramid scheme. It's not one of
Oh,
those things where you try to get people to sign up so you can make money off them or whatever that is. Direct sales simply means direct to consumer. Very popular way to shop actually in today's world. And many of the direct sales reps do strictly online. Some choose to do in person and personal appointments. But again, it's just a way where direct to consumer, where we have a go between us and the customer. People shop online a lot, but they don't have that personal connection, and that can be a problem. So
right.
we serve a really good need. I share this story a lot, and we have a lot of new viewers tonight. So I really think this is important. And one of the things that I want to share with you is something that I learned many, many years ago. So many years ago that I was listening to it on an audio cassette tape. And it was when David Bach, who wrote The Automatic Millionaire, for all I know, it's still on a bestseller list, but it certainly was for a very long time. And he was super, super stoked because he had figured out a way where everyday people like you and I could become millionaires in a relatively short time by taking advantage of investing and compound interest and all that good stuff. And he had this formula where by investing $300 to $500 a month, how really maybe within a decade, people could be millionaires. And he said, as he began to present this program that he was so super excited about, he realized that here, especially in the United States of America, that we had a bigger problem than investing. Our problem was that almost every person was living beyond their means. they weren't living paycheck to paycheck. They were living where they were putting things on credit cards every month in order to just make ends meet. And he said what he felt that he needed to do was to swivel and pivot a little bit and help these people piggers. Where did that come from? People figure out how could they come up with $300 to $500 a month. And of
Right.
course, I could do a whole big list, but he realized that most things were going to involve a really big lifestyle change for people, like whole new
Right.
jobs, someone going back to work. And then he said, and that's when he discovered direct sales. And he goes, it is like the Queen Mary of jobs. He said, people decide when they want to work, how much they want to work, how much they want to make, what they're
Mhm.
willing to do, what they're not willing to do. And, aside from the fact of making money to invest, which I think is a wonderful idea, that can help get you out of credit card debt. That can help you pay for that team sport that you weren't going to be able to let your kids do. I mean,
Right.
obviously, there's so many things, and you and I both know that that is exactly what direct sales did for us. That is exactly why we started. We didn't stay for the same reasons that we started. So,
Mhm.
any little issue that you have going on right now, you guys, where a little part-time gig could help you get out of that pickle, it's so worth considering.
Absolutely. We have a bunch more people that hopped on, which is really great. So in the Grace and Grit Studio, I put a message to join the business page, which is called Grace and Grit Studio page. When you join that, you will see that there's a share button. So if you go ahead and click that share button right now from that business page, and you share this particular video on your walls and tell them, hey, take a listen to Mary Grace and Janine, we're going to do an extra giveaway for those who share.
Woo!
So
Are you
definitely click
telling
that
me that
share button.
the biggest audience we ever get may be me sitting in my car?
It could happen with your seatbelt on. At least you're safe. So we have
Got the
more people that
accessories.
joined. Welcome, Jean, Jess. Welcome, the Donnas, because there's two different Donnas, and Denise. Welcome. Thank you so much. So,
Yeah.
Mary Grace, now that you told us what direct sales is, and I love how you explain that, I think that makes it very clear and it's just easy to understand. Why is jewelry like, where does jewelry fit into that?
Well, my goodness, I did not start in the jewelry industry when I did direct sales. I was doing candles. Janine, you were doing baskets, in case you don't remember. We both started with whole different companies.
I don't
Um,
remember.
yeah, to my knowledge, Park Lane is the only direct sales company that recognizes experience,
Mhm.
brings you in at positions that are commensurate with the pay and the experience that you've already put years into. So we absolutely love that. That's just a new little plug for Park Lane, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But jewelry, I am one of those people that used to think, who would sell jewelry? Why jewelry? Like, and this was what you're asking me. So I like to go back, and I'm going to tell you that I've experienced every single one of the things I'm about to say, but I'm going to use our owners as an example because the original owners started this company in 1955, and they knew that they wanted to start a direct sales company, but they weren't sure what products, but they were super smart about it, professional about it, and said, instead of just picking something that comes off the top of our head, let's do our research. So they hired three separate consulting companies. They didn't tell the other consultant companies that others had been hired because they really wanted it to be like unbiased, great
Mhm.
research job. All three of these consultants go out into the world and they said to them, come back with your top three product recommendations and be ready to defend your answers. So all three of them, much to the Levine family's shock, came back with jewelry as number one. They weren't thinking jewelry. And then they go, okay, defend your answers. And these are all the things I've experienced, as have you. I mean, I don't know why I never even thought of any of this before, but first of all, like whenever you're representing a product, you want to make sure you're representing something that most of the world loves, and almost everybody wears some type of jewelry, accessorizes in some way. The market is absolutely huge. It's also been around forever. It withstands the test of time. So jewelry's
Right.
been around since the first discovery of putting a bone around your neck or whatever they
A
did.
bone. A bone. At least it's a bedazzled bone. Let's say that.
I'm sorry. We had so much fun with our jobs.
We do.
All the way and forecasts are showing that jewelry usage is just going
Up
to
and
go
up,
up,
up.
up, up in the next
Mhm.
years. Just it becomes more and more popular. Um, it withstands the test of time. Already, I lost my train of thought with that stupid bone necklace. Also, the demographic is absolutely huge. One of the top three gifts in the world: candy, flowers, and jewelry.
Jewelry.
So even if people aren't buying for themselves, they're buying it for others. Okay, so these are all amazing things, but I want you to think about it as a stylist and a potential stylist, which is what we call ourselves. Okay, people are wearing our product. Do you know how cool that is? So not only are we wearing our product, so are other people. What happens? Compliments,
Yep.
conversations, referrals. Okay, this is all really, really great stuff. All right. That is huge. We do not have to carry a lot. Well, 78% of our people do strictly online. But also, when we do choose to go out and do something in person, it's like in a bag the size of our purse. So off we go. I mean, the benefits. I know I'm forgetting stuff, Janine. I threw
No,
my
you're
own
doing
self
good.
off. Okay.
You're
But
doing good.
really, jewelry is so incredibly smart to represent. Um, and I'll tell you why Park Lane's the best in just a minute. Should Janine ask me that question?
Could you imagine that might be my next one? Listen, Jean Flowers McCollum said Wilma wore rocks. So you are fine talking about a phone. I immediately
Thank
thought
you
of
thank
Flintstones.
you for covering for me. I don't know where that came from.
It's fine. I love every single week. You
I
never
know.
cease to amaze me. You come out with something else, and it's great. It's comedic excellence as far as I'm all right. Now that we know what direct sales is, now that we know why jewelry is so important, because basically everybody has a wrist, a neck, and ears, okay,
Yeah.
to wear this. Why does where does Park Lane fit into this because of all the different brands that are out there?
Well, I'll tell you. I'm going to share a little personal story with you guys, and I'm not going to name names because I have so much respect for the
Right.
direct sales companies that I'm familiar with. But coincidentally, I told you I used to sell candles and I was having some concerns about the company. And coincidentally, which I believe in like signs, I had two calls that week with jewelry companies offering me positions with them or to come to them.
Mm,
One was this company, another was a different company. But when I chose Park Lane, a lot of the reasons are just reasons that I think most anybody would want to choose Park Lane. And one of the reasons is because we're, as far as I know, the only full service direct sales jewelry company. Most jewelry companies have a certain, I don't know if it's niche or niche, but niche market. And you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. They're either
mhm.
like maybe they're all pearls, all charms, all Swarovski crystals, all silver. So that like limits your audience. Okay. So I love that with Park Lane, there's something for everyone. I think that's
Yeah,
super, super powerful. Okay. Also, we've been around since 1955. We're cash rich, we're debt free. That meant something to me even all those years ago when I joined.
sure it
But
did.
having survived through quarantine and COVID,
Yeah,
unbelievable watching
yeah.
so many companies suffer. And we just have lived through everything. So we're
Mhm.
good. Okay. We've just been around for so much, so long.
Yeah.
Because we are so financially responsible and solid, we are able to offer programs that no one else can touch. And when I was deciding between the two companies, I knew that whatever I did, I wanted to represent the best. I wanted to be able to honestly say to my customers and people that worked with me, like, this is the best I've ever seen.
Right.
And I couldn't honestly say that about any other company. So the customer program, a customer sale is ongoing where it's buy two items for regular price, get four for half. Your two regulars should be your least expensive. It's so fun. People gasp with delight every single time. Now, as a stylist, though, you know why that is so wonderful, Janine? Do you know? Have
Tell
you
me.
learned this yet? It's wonderful
No.
because it's so repeatable, which might not even be a word, but girls love, guys,
Mhm.
everybody loves to share a sale. And when they can
Oh,
like
yeah.
memorize it and repeat it, it's so amazing. And word of mouth is like such our friend too. And it's just absolutely delightful. And then we add other fun stuff in all the time. The hostess program, now hostess is like when somebody delivers their friends and family to you on a silver platter and says, I want you to show your jewelry to my friends too. Well, we reward people for doing that. And we have the most generous host program in the industry where people are rewarded per order as opposed to how much their friends spend. Having been an ex-teacher and my friends not having much money, I never really cleaned up very well at any of those parties. But with Park Lane, it doesn't matter, you know. Now, with this sale that we have, with the amount of jewelry that we give to our hostesses, anywhere from $300 to $1,000 is average for a
That's insane.
hostess. It's
Yeah.
insane. What do you think that does for us as reps? Do we want people to be walking around with their one piece of Park Lane, or do we
No, you
want them
want
to
to
be
stand
wearing
out.
different Park Lane every day? Right? It's
Yeah,
really cool. And then, of
yeah.
course, what most people care about is how we get paid. And we have the most generous compensation plan. I like to use myself as an example because I was one of the top income earners in my other company.
Great.
And I think and I'm not trying to impress you, I'm trying to impress upon you, but I think my greatest income there was about $250,000 a year. I've exceeded years here with 700,000 with, activity and that was very comparable to what I did there. So
Absolutely.
really, a lot of people say that they double, triple their income here based on whatever, kind of activity they ever did. We start people at 30%. I know my other company was like 20. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what yours was, but we start people at
25.
30% commission and they can work themselves up to 50% really, really quickly. And that's only the beginning, you guys. The overrides on our team and the monthly bonuses and the weekly bonuses. We can each earn up to $1,000 in free jewelry every single month. I don't think I've ever missed it. I don't think you've ever missed it. And that's like, that we earned that. So we could sell that for 100% profit if we wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So there are just so many advantages. And then our CEO never wants anybody to have it better than we have it. So he's kind of a little bit of a one-upper. So like if other companies have a trip every year, well, guess what? We have two. We're headed to Dublin in no time. We just got back from Paris. So we've just had so many amazing experiences. And something I sometimes neglect to mention because I've become very used to it, and yet it's a super, super powerful selling point for Park Lane, is we opt to lead with like happiness and delight. And
Absolutely.
as I say, the carrot. We don't believe in leading with fear. Therefore, we have no monthly minimums. It really is because Scott literally will say words like, how's it your own business if we tell you that you have to do a certain amount? So there are people on my team that literally could take a couple months off, come back, they come at the same title, the
Yep.
same pay. Okay, so there's none of that going on. And that really is very unusual. I truly don't know that there's any other company that doesn't have minimums.
I don't think there is. I don't think there is. No minimums, no quotas. No
Mhm.
minimums, no quotas. And that's unheard of in direct sales. So I want to just say that again. No minimums, no quotas. Nobody's going to make you.
Hey, did you just say no minimums, no quotas?
I just said no minimums, no quotas. Really quickly, what if somebody's just looking for a part-time gig? Can you do that little comparative thing of our average order to a part-time job?
Oh, thank you for letting me talk more. Yes. Okay, so you guys, I just asked somebody the other day and they looked it up for me. So it was my brother actually. And minimum wage where he lives is $7 an hour. Okay. So I
Okay.
want you to picture that you decide, let's even say $10 an hour. Let's say you get something really generous. And you decide that you're gonna go work retail for 4 hours a week. Okay, you got to get in the car, you got to get ready, you got to get there, you got to stand there for 4 hours, you got to do your job, and you got to go home. What did you just make? At $10 an hour, you made $40. Okay, because of our customer sale, our average order is over $100 because of
Hmm.
what Parks Lane's doing for them. Okay, so I want you to realize, because most people don't think in percentages, people start at 30%. So 30% of $100 is $33. All right, that is what, $7 less than someone that got $10 an hour and had to drive there and stand there for 4 hours, and that's one order. So at the
Yep.
$7 minimum wage, somebody would have to show up for almost 5 hours to make what we make in one order, which takes seconds. You have your own
Absolutely.
website. You wake up in the morning and there's orders against your website. So I
Powerful.
so believe in this. I think
It's
it's so amazing.
powerful. It's the best part-time thing because you can do it at your own pace and you get a big bang for your buck. I mean, meaning
Yes.
your time, your return on your investment is very large when you're in direct sales. That's something that
Yeah.
most women and a few good men know when they're in this industry.
Yeah. And
Um,
honestly, it's the best friends and family discount because if you're a rep, you're taking advantage of every single
true.
sale and program that we have, and you're also getting paid back every week. It's
Yep,
ridiculous.
true.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
if you're watching this live or on the replay, you still have the ability to click that share button from our Grace and Grit Studio business page. So please do that. We will look in there tomorrow at who shared and we will pick a winner for another free piece of jewelry. So it's definitely a great way to just click the share and share us on your walls. Now, here is something that I love to ask you because I think we hear this a lot. We hear people that go, "Oh, now's not a good time. It's not a good time." Why is now the best time?
Okay, so you want to know something I learned, a success principle?
Tell me.
And truly, I've seen it in play, and it's absolutely right. Successful people do not overthink things, they
Mhm.
do it now, literally. So, if like all of this is sounding really good to you, and you're realizing the risks are really there's no risk, Park Lane takes
Right,
the risks, not us, and you're like, but maybe I should wait until I retire or when my kid what? No, you want to do it now because we don't have the minimums and stuff. You're interested and excited now. Now is the time. That
right?
being said, now is the time, because we are in a so amazing spot right now where Park Lane is offering for $99.
Mhm.
You get to choose $600 worth of jewelry. Now,
Insane.
I could say that to someone off. I could get out of my car right now and offer that to someone, and they'd think that was great. The $99 is naturally a tax write-off. It's a business expense, but also that gets you everything that you need. Okay, so all of the tools are available to you. You have your own personal website for that
Right,
$99. You have access to the back office. Mary Grace Lewandowski, myself, pays a professional to do images for us. So you literally can open a cut and paste Facebook, Instagram business tomorrow using images that are already made for you. It's like
right,
it's amazing, you guys, and that's what's going on right now. We are at the cusp of a brand new catalog. Our fall catalog comes out like July 9th or something like that.
yeah,
So how cool to get your toe in the water, get up and running, and be able to offer even your friends and family that maybe I don't want to hear that they've all been to 1,000 shows. Doesn't matter. They'll come back for the new catalog. So
oh
it's
my
an
gosh, yeah,
amazing time to get started. Plus, it's summer. I was a teacher, usually looking for a little side gig. So this is definitely the perfect time. Now, the best way to start, in fact, it's almost like non negotiable, you guys, because it's so powerful,
right,
is we'd love for you to have like what we call a promotional party. And that means like you can decide if it's going to be an online party, if it's going to be in your house, if you want to have it like at a restaurant with wine, whatever you want to do, but allow whoever invited you tonight to help you get started that way because they will do your party, but you're the one who'll get paid. And what I
right,
love about that is that $99, it's not even $99 because on the average you're going to make $300 or $400 at your first show, and now you're just still ahead of the game. So
mhm,
I love all that stuff. Love it.
mhm. Well, listen, we had a couple people share, which is awesome. I did put the Google Doc up. However, on the Grace and Grit Studio business page and on the Grace and Grit group, it's actually in the featured section. So you can find it
Yes.
there too. But we always get those people that ask us within the comments. So I also put it in the comments. Mary Grace, thank you for taking the time. Thank you for pulling over and, and talking to us tonight
Oh, you're so
about
welcome. And I'm sure the fellow
our
drivers are very grateful that I pulled over too.
Well,
You
I
guys,
didn't hear any beeping, so we're good. You pulled over in a good spot.
yes, the Google survey is your drawing,
Right.
your ticket into the drawing, and it's really fun, you guys, because you write down what kind of jewelry you like, and I curate it to your taste. So one of you is going
Insane.
to win some free jewelry just for listening, for filling out the Google survey, and pass the word. I hope that I get to meet a lot of you in a better way, more personal way than I have now, because I can't believe how many people tell me like they join because we seem fun and we lift each other up. And you don't get a whole lot of that in today's world. So, Janine, as usual, you are one of the people who lifts me up. I appreciate you so
Likewise.
much. Bye,
Same.
everybody.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.